Hey, Daryl from Just Roll It Already. Welcome back to the January challenge for the entire month, where I make my video one a day every single day for the entire month. Today is day 5, and today I thought I would give you a discussion on villains, or antagonists for that matter. The pinnacle of most stories. And you can just sit there and say, I don't want to take the time to do this. I'm just going to make a bad guy say he's a bad guy because reasons, and boom, you got a villain that's evil for the sake of evil. That's great and all, but when you come to role playing, it's kind of dull. What more I'm talking about is an in-depth, more flushing out of a character that you can create. And most of the time, when it comes down to the antagonist to the group, what is their drive? What is their purpose? And what do they get out of it when it comes down to their actions? Now, you can say these people grew up in a tough background. They became, let's say, a bandit leader. Or a gang leader of sorts. They grew up impoverished. They learned that they use this thing. They have a method of getting money. Money equals power, and power equals respect. And most of these people actually demand respect. You don't give them respect, they'll sit there and stab you just to show that they mean business, and to warn those around them just how far they're willing to go and what happens to those who stand against them. This is a common terror tactic that's often seen even today by most standards of the Western world, and also been seen everywhere else. Then there is the other methods of charisma. Cult leaders, they use their general sway, their suave, to convince people to do what they want. Or con artists for the matter. They sweet talk somebody, say the things they need to hear, that they want to hear, put voices out there that people are to trust them, that they are good people, and the next thing you know, they swipe everything that they have, because that's the easiest way that they can do. Then there is the my personal favorite, the religious psycho, the zealot, the person who uses faith as their mask to cover up or justify their actions because they believe what they're doing is right. Now, here is an example of one thing that I've done. This is a bit more of a terror story. Those who have known me in the past know that I can create and have made villains that they love to hate, mainly because of how awful and terrifying and dangerous they can be. Somewhat believable. This person was voted to be a magistrate of a town. He seen himself as the judge, jury, and executioner and religious leader of this townlet, this group of people, these human settlers. And this isn't a fantasy setting, by the way. I forgot to put that context out there. They put themselves out there as saying, I will lead you to the righteous way. The gods have favored us humans, why we are so numerous, why we live how we are, and why we are better than every other creature out there. And would justify and sway these people into doing horrific acts, saying that this is what the gods deemed so, and if I am wrong right now, may they strike me down. And he stand there and nothing would happen. He would use he would justify killing. He was xenophobic for the most part, and a racist, and a horrible person. He would have people suggest people heavily to tithe to him personally, not the church, to him. And he would say that he was the church, and that he was the word of the gods, and spoke with the creators, and had divine power. And the group came to a public hearing, or more lines of a public execution, where they proceeded to see a orc being tied up, chained, beaten, and he was being read aloud of his crimes, even though he never did anything other than walk too close to their town, was found, got caught, and proceeded to be told that he was responsible for the rape and murder of an entire family. Nobody knows who did it. I left it ambiguous. The death of livestock and various other heinous crimes that was put out there that was far too numerous to name besides the ones, and he were to be blinded, beaten, and then proceed to die from crucifixion. Now, everyone in the party saw this. They're thinking like, oh, it's just an orc. And then they sat there and they're listening to the whole thing. And when they start hearing the crimes, they're going, man, he's horrible. It's a very bad thing. And then one of the people who was a half orc, they almost started getting targeted immediately after the sentencing was heard out. And my phone just went off. And it was something quite awful afterwards, because in the party there was a half elf who managed to pass as a human. Never really liked showing he was an elf, so he got away fine. There was a dwarf. You can guess how that was going to go. And the rest were humans. Please leave me alone, people. And the whole... Sorry. People apparently really needed to tell me something. Where was I? Oh, yes. Racism. And the priest himself said, capture the heretics, and so on and so forth. And they were all grouped together, and the orc was obviously tortured, and they were telling him to write on a piece of paper to state of his wrongdoings, and they listed a bunch of phony charges that the priest came up with, and it was quite extensive. I don't want to go too far in details of it, because that will probably take close to an hour to describe the entire thing, and gaming stories often need a little less detail when it comes to this channel. I don't know if I'll ever go into full detail of this, but that would be a very long and very drawn out video, and people would probably not want to watch it in one go. But condensing it down, the party broke them out, took their party members, broke a bunch of demi-humans away from everything, and they proceeded to find a reason to band together and get rid of this dangerous man. I mean, he wasn't even a real priest for the matter, and he just simply showed up and he said he was a leader of a religious group. But that's the thing about villains, is that this guy used faith to trick people into giving him power, and some of these people are megalomaniacs, and that's another thing about a villain or a antagonist. They have an ego, they have a agenda, they have a drive, they want to be acknowledged, they wish for glory, fame, power, wealth, women, you name it, all the earthly delights. And some of them are over the moon crazy. One thing that you can say that is a very good example of absolute insanity of a megalomaniac is to watch the Netflix Castlevania, if you have it. If not, I'm sure you can find videos out there. I don't know, legal or otherwise. I'm not going to condone, but it's legal if you can prefer. But it's something that is worth seeing, and that way you can see how villains should be or could be portrayed. So, yes, in short, as I said before, money, power, wealth, women, influence, and prestige. They're all looking for something. They have egos, and megalomaniacs for that matter. And I base some of my villains off of real people I've met who are horrible people. You know, temperaments and agendas and such. But at this point, I'm rambling and stalling, and that is the sign for me to say that I'm finished with this video. Anyways, I'm Daryl. Thank you for showing up. Just roll it ready, so on and so forth. And if you have anything you want to add to this, or anything that I have missed that you think that would be good to add to building your villains, or something that I've missed or forgot that you think that would warrant a response, then feel free to put it down in the comments. Or if you have any ideas for me to do a video on during this challenge, then feel free to do so. Anyways, I'm Daryl. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.